Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Saturday edition of Let's Talk with me, Julie Alli. On the show today, we'll be talking to the Sandwich King, and we'll also be talking with Riyad Laher about the Lifeline Foundation. But first up, we are visiting the Bosmont Primary School, where some very interesting things has been happening by way of the Themba Bavuma Foundation. Let's take a look at what that is all about, and then we will obviously carry on with our interviews for the rest of the morning.
Good morning. My name is Stephen Groep. I'm the HOD at Bosmont Primary School in Bosmont. As a school, we are really honored by the involvement of PPC and the Themba Bavuma Foundation here at our school. I'm a firm believer in the holistic development of our children. Sport plays an extremely important role in keeping our children off the streets and teaching them self-discipline. I've been involved in cricket almost my whole life. I've played the game, I've coached the game, both mini cricket and hardball cricket. Cricket is one of the codes that truly changes the behavior of those who are involved in it. Thank you to PPC, the Themba Bavuma Foundation. Thank you to the PPC team for getting involved in our school and assisting us to make a difference in the lives of our learners, our community, and our school. So, thumbs up PPC, and we hope that we will have a long, successful relationship with you and bringing a change to our community.
Our school is a full-service school, so full-service schools cater also for the needs of other learners, not only the ones that are academically strong. And we have realized that with cricket now, these youngsters, that some of them were very, very shy, introverted and not coping in class. But with the discipline that they have now reached levels where they are truly, truly working harder in class. So we know that cricket is only one of the means that they can go from being a poor student with low self-esteem, growing into a child that has discipline and a child that can function. So PPC, we'd like to say thank you very much. Right now we might not see the difference that you are making, but one of these days you will come to realize that you have played a vital role in taking our children from humble beginnings into what they can possibly be one day. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Rajesh Hariprasad. I'm the General Manager Inland Sales for PPC Cement. PPC joined hands with the Themba Bavuma Foundation 3 years ago. PPC believes in going beyond. We believe in empowering previously disadvantaged communities. And it's not about just selling a bag of cement and walking away. We believe in empowering communities, local communities, in the areas in which we operate. Well, it's about bringing cricket to areas that were previously disadvantaged. They had no cricket pitches, no formal infrastructure to practice cricket. And PPC brought that to the local communities or local schools around the country to help develop Cricket South Africa. To the learners of all these schools that we've provided cricket pitches to, we wish you well and hopefully you make good use of the facilities. PPC stands behind you and will support you. We've also prepped the schools in terms of maintenance and the future of the cricket pitches.
Good day to all ITV viewers. I'm Jason McKenzie. I would like to also introduce my other friend.
Hagen Leray.
And my other friend.
Lungile Machi.
I am so excited to meet Themba in front of me and to actually see him and watch him play so many games by himself. I just want to say to all the viewers that are watching this is Bosmont Primary School and we are very excited to view other people.
I've been playing cricket for 2 years. It's a much better a much better pitch because it's not like wild grass where there's a lot of bumps on it and all of that.
Cricket at my school is actually quite fun and exciting, meeting Themba and all the other players, and with the new pitches and players, we think it will be very fun to interact and play with them today.
I'd like to send a message to all the young ones that want to be cricket players. I just want to say, you can fulfill your dreams right now. Start anywhere, anytime. You can play cricket is very easy, just you have to put a lot of focus in it. To all the viewers that are watching this, thank you.
I am Sheena Julius and I am in grade 3A. My school is Bosmont Primary School. I love cricket and I want to play for the Proteas. And it is very nice that I am playing cricket at my school.
My name is Joyce Lechote. I'm here on behalf of the Department of Education, Gauteng, specifically from Johannesburg North District, on behalf of the Director, Mr. Mkhulisi. We've been sent here to support the school on the program as it unfolds from the Themba Bavuma Foundation. We are very humbled by the gesture that this foundation has given to us, included with the PPC. We want to confirm and affirm that there is no education without sports, and there is no education without support of the community and all what we call civil services that are provided in the school. Government can do up to this point, and we appreciate particularly Themba Bavuma, because it's not just providing support to introduce and to enhance the talent of the children, but is also becoming a role model in the school. It is so good that when you are in a community member who plays a very crucial part in this country, you're able to come back and plow and know where you come from and support where you could do. With those words, we want to say to Themba and the PPC and the foundation that this doesn't go unnoticed. We appreciate the gesture and it is welcomed at all costs. We will play our part as the Department of Education. We will ensure that participation it's at its highest point. We'll ensure the coaches are there, and we'll make sure that this program, it benefits the entire community.
We're obviously quite fortunate as a foundation that we have support and a strong partnership with a company like PPC. They've been supporting us from the inception of the foundation, and we've been able to achieve many of our objectives through their assistance. So I mean, we're quite grateful for that partnership, and we look forward to continuing and building it to make it even stronger. Success stories, I mean, we've got a lot of kids under the foundation. We've got kids that we cover their tuition fees from university as well as to secondary school. We've got a couple of primary schools as well. We've got an under 13 team under the foundation that participates in cricket festivals. And yeah, we've got a lot of projects that we've managed to, infrastructure projects that we've managed to do within the Soweto area, and then this new one here in Bosmont. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of presence of the foundation within the community. Message to the upcoming cricketers. I think it's important that you follow your passion. That's how it happened for us. You know, we were also 10, 11, 12 years old, where we just loved the game of cricket. We never knew we'd ever get to this point in time, but we fully invested in our passion. We were fortunate that we had the right support around us from facilities like these, from good coaching. So I mean, to you guys, you know, follow your passion. You never know where it could take you.
We love Themba!
Welcome back, and we are now going to talk the Lifeline Foundation. The people behind this foundation, what is it all about, and is it a model that can work in South Africa? Riyad Lahir is in studio with me to talk about how you and I can make a difference with such a foundation right here in South Africa. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much, Judy, for having me on your show.
Great to have you here, and we were talking off air and you shared some amazing, interesting and heartwarming information with me. You together with a partner, Hussein, I'm not sure about his surname, but obviously you guys have come up with an amazing idea and you've got something going very successfully in India. So let's start right at the beginning. Who is Riyad Laher?
As a person, I'm part of a family business that runs a mini chain of footwear stores. But my real passion is people development. And that's where Uncle Hussein and I got together and we started GrowWorks, which helps incubate young businesses. Also part of MYCO, Muslim Youth Council of Entrepreneurs, which also has a similar objective of inspiring a new generation of entrepreneurs in our community. And then we came across through our IT company that we have in South Africa, which does ERP and POS systems. Our team in India was involved on a personal basis in this business called Lifeline. This is initiative called Lifeline, which was based on the Grameen model from Bangladesh. Of Mr. Muhammad Yunus, which borrowed microloans to young female entrepreneurs, or female entrepreneurs generally, microloans. But the key difference with their model was this was interest-free, with no markup or anything of that sort. So if you borrowed a 5,000 rand, you paid it back over 6 months, interest-free, every week.
Okay, so we're talking Lifeline Foundation. We're talking about two South Africans who run an IT company not only here in South Africa, but obviously in India as well. How do you manage something like this, and why did you take an interest in this foundation out in Bangalore or Bangalore, however it's pronounced, in India?
Because of we saw the immense social impact this can have in South Africa. And just to give you a little anecdote, because of our shoe business, I happen to be with one of my managers in the rural areas where we have a store. And I asked her, I see a lot of Bangladeshi and Pakistani spaza shop owners here, and why hasn't there been xenophobia here? Why haven't they kicked them out? And she says to me, Riyad, they will not kick them out. And I said, why? She said, because these guys supply the people living in the area with groceries on credit. Because once their pension runs out in a month, they go to the spaza shop, he gives them credit, and they get to pay at the end of the month. If they supply the credit and they kick them out, who's going to supply the credit?
Wow.
So then that got me thinking that the community realized how interconnected everybody was, and they needed one another. And then when I saw this concept in Bangalore with our team, when we saw this concept, we said, this is an opportunity for communities to connect. The people who are giving, obviously, and the people who are being empowered here. So it's not just microloans for Muslims, it's microloans for all women. A mama in a township selling tomatoes or sweets on a corner or in a rural area, and the immense social impact that it can have for social cohesion and also economic growth as well.
Your IT company in South Africa, well, obviously set up in South Africa, but it's managed by a group of people, all the fundis, the IT fundis in India. And we know that it's not only South Africa that is tapping into those resources, even the Americans and other Western countries, because that's where all the brains seem to be. How did that concept come about? How long are you in that business? And is it working for us as South Africans?
No, absolutely. So that's not credit that goes to my partner, Uncle Hussein Muhammad, from the Osborough owner, who started the company, I think, close to 8 to 10 years ago in India. I met him a couple of years back looking for a system for my business to help it grow. And that's how we developed a relationship and realized that we have common values, that the IT system was just a means to get into people's businesses and help them grow. And that's where we realized we have a common and shared vision. And 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, we jointly started the South African office together. And this has given us
the IT office.
The IT office. And that's where we got into South African businesses and saw an opportunity to help them grow and to expand their business and take it to the next level, on some level. So that's where the passion for that came in. And obviously the skills that you get in India are unsurpassed in terms of IT development and stuff like that. So it was a win-win situation for all.
How big is the team in India?
So I think they got a staff complement of at least 60 people, I think, 40 to 60 people. It changes quite a bit. As you know, companies are fluid. So it's a decent team. We have an office in Dubai as well, servicing customers there, and obviously the office in South Africa, inshallah.
I mean, that's wonderful, creating job opportunities not only in South Africa but all around the world. So through this venture, your IT company, you guys came across what the staff were doing. Tell us that story.
So there's some amazing people in our, who head up the business that side, Mr. Sharifai and his team, and they have a huge commitment for social justice, which is really our Islamic values. And when we saw the type of work that they were doing, it just blew us away, for no benefit, for no salary and stuff like that. And they really took this model on, and we were really impressed by what they did. And they took it further. They have this microloan system for women, and then they have a middle tier loan system for bigger businesses who want a car and a vehicle, but don't want to get trapped with the interest model, which is called Rahbar, a profit-based system, but also very successful, running for 4 to 5 years as well. And just last year, they launched their third vehicle, which is a VC fund to invest in Indian startups, giving Muslim Sharia compliant investing into Indian startups. And I don't have to tell you that the Indian startups in India are reaching unicorn, which is $1 billion status in 3 years.
Wow.
And they felt a need that Muslims are not playing in this market, that Muslims understand gold and property, but are not playing in the new age. And they said, let's give Muslims a platform to invest in this type of companies.
Talk to us, unpack that new age means of investment for the Muslim market, not only in South Africa, but globally. And it seems, when we talk India, we always have this perception that they're way behind us because we in South Africa, a mixture of a first and third world country, we have this perception that we are miles ahead, but not necessarily so. Let's talk about this gap and how do we go about closing
So
it?
some interesting information. Next year, India will be the 4th largest economy in the world.
Phew.
So that leaves South Africa in its way. It's middle class. It's 400 million people. So this is middle class. It's 4 or 5 times the size of South Africa alone.
But they also have a very big, really under the very poor class
Yes.
as well, or the untouchables, or however
Yes.
you would refer to them. How's that being managed, or how do you target that area in making a difference and empowering them?
Yeah, and that's where our organizations like Lifeline come in to empower. And the sad thing really is the Muslims are being left behind in India. They've lost economic power, and they've lost economic power because they're not playing in the new age businesses. It's the non-Muslim
Is it
business.
that, or is it the politics playing out?
It's a bit of both, but also the vision need is not there for them to be involved in getting education, being at the forefront of tech change. And that's a personal drive that comes in. So they're being left behind, and that's where initiatives like the Grameen model, like Lifeline Foundation, is helping the women entrepreneurs on that level. Rahbar is helping the middle level entrepreneurs, and Mount Judy is helping VC funding on a higher level on the tech basis.
Okay, we're going to go for an ad break. When we come back, let's hear your thoughts in how you introduce these 3 different concepts right here in South Africa. Riyad Lahiri is my guest. He's talking about the Lifeline Foundation. It's running very successfully, according to him, in India. And of course, him and his South African partner are hard at work trying to bring the concept to South Africa. So let's hear what it's all about. And who knows, inshallah, maybe you and I can become part of this amazing team. Welcome back. We're talking to Riyad Lahiri about the Lifeline Foundation based in India. It's a concept he and Hussein Mohammed would like to bring to South Africa. He also talks about 3 tiers of this concept and is absolutely adamant that it is working successfully in India and no reason why it can't and won't be successful in South Africa. So obviously the vision is with this Lifeline Foundation that it's an Islamic answer to poverty alleviation. How so?
Well, in Islamic answer, because it's based on the principles of social justice, no interest, and in a Lifeline model, no markup or whatsoever, funded truly through donors and generous donations like that. And in South Africa, the need is immense. So there are other funds doing this, but none of them interest-free. And so based on their social justice model, an absolute answer to the South African dilemma.
You talk interest-free, but there has to be a time limit on that repayment, because if you're lending money out to perhaps 1 million people and if they don't pay back timelessly, you're going to be at a loss, and you won't be able to help future people that are wanting to start up, and by so doing growing the economy, because that's what it's all about, is
Yes,
it not?
it is.
Here is an excellent vehicle to grow the economy.
Yes, so these loans are microloans of, let's say, a couple of £1,000, which have a maximum repayment period of 6 months. So they pay every 2 weeks over 6 months, and that's the maximum repayment period. Obviously, there's an inflationary aspect to that, but the fund gets topped up through donations every year through donors and well-wishers and stuff like that. And in India, we've done 30 million rand already over the last eight years with a 96% payback rate. So that's phenomenal.
You write off the 4%, or you allow for a
so not all
default
businesses-
of X amount.
Yes. And everybody, all of these programs from Lifeline to Rapper to Mount Judy, all have a rigorous vetting process of making sure the person has the right criteria, that the business model is sound. There's some training, free training that involved in it as well, so that when you're starting your small micro business, do you have the business fundamentals in place? All of those type of things. So it's not a blank check just to give it to anybody who applies. It's a rigorous vetting process with a lot of mentoring that goes into it as well.
Is there any collateral that you expect from the people who take out the loans?
There's no collateral whatsoever.
How are you going to guarantee that you get...
We've proven, so it's the group dynamics on the Lifeline. It's the Grameen model where 4 or 5 women from the same area are borrowing money, and if one of them doesn't pay, the others don't get money. So the others put pressure and say, Julie, you haven't paid and I'm not going to get some more. So that peer pressure already results in them in a 96% payback rate. Otherwise,
and that's amazing. 96% is absolutely amazing.
And what the beauty part about this is the ability to have behavioral change. So it comes with a social compact. So if you take a loan from Lifeline, it comes with a 10-point non-negotiable. 1, I will send my children to school. B, I will keep my house clean. C, I will not be vulgar to my neighbors and stuff like that. D, I will pay it forward. So it comes with a social compact that you need to adhere to as well. And if you fail that social compact, we will not give you the money or review that.
Who manages that? Because you need to have it managed to see that they are complying.
So the people on the ground at each branch level meet every week to collect the money physically from people. The volunteers meet people one-on-one and look at them straight in the eye. It's not a impersonal process. And because it's community-based and the loans are community-based, people will report one another. She's not adhering or he's not adhering to the principles. So the ability to change, have behavioral change is so amazing with this whole process.
So you're not only empowering them to be able to feed themselves and to grow the community as a whole, but you're also empowering them to make positive changes in their personal lives.
100%. So no alcohol, no drinking, no all of those societal problems that we're facing. None of it. So in India in specific, no sending my child for child labor. He must go to school. All
and
of
marrying the girls off early,
So whatever your social compact is, what I'm trying to say, that you need to adhere to the social compact. And that makes it such a powerful tool.
What's the second tier all about?
The second tier is obviously around mid-tier entrepreneurs who need a vehicle, a bakkie for their business, for a machine for their factory, all of those type of things. And then applying, obviously, here the principles of markup come into, because we give the guys returns, the investors returns, and they've delivered consistently 13% to 14% a year, paid out quarterly. And this gives them a Sharia-compliant vehicle to finance those type of businesses. And all based on Sharia-compliant principles. So that's a profit-driven initiative, but not exorbitant profits of any sort. So that also helps those mid-tier entrepreneurs move up a level.
And what's the cap on the loans that you give them?
Those are loans about 100,000 rand in India. So we haven't worked out that model in South Africa yet. But in India, that's a lot of money. So buying vehicles, machinery, and all of those type of things.
And the third tier?
The third tier is our VC fund that funds solutions that solve problems. So in India, you have 400 million people, and the VC fund looks to invest in companies that solve the problems in a country like India, which are very similar to South Africa as well. So if you take one of the companies that they're evaluating right now they've seen over 200 companies they've evaluated. One of those companies has developed a system to kill germs in hospitals of hospital infections. It's sitting at FDA in America, and once that gets approved, and I don't need to tell you about the problem with hospital infections, even in a country like ours, in our great private hospitals as well. So we look at solutions that, investments in companies that solve problems, and those very similar problems can be, solutions can be brought back to South Africa as well.
Absolutely, so big focus on healthcare.
Healthcare, anything that solves a problem.
Mm-hmm. And is there any in the distant long in the near future, perhaps, is there any focus at all on education, perhaps?
No, absolutely. So some of those vehicles are companies that have apps that go into rural communities that provide teaching aids. It's very diverse. So the companies being invested in, they are very diverse, from education to power generation to healthcare to education, on all of those type of platforms. You know what I'm saying? And giving Muslims a vehicle to get into this new age.
How long has this been running successfully in India, and how do you and Hussein plan to introduce it to South Africa, given that we have lots of companies, lots of Muslim organizations and other organizations doing amazing charitable work as well?
So in India, Lifeline's running for 8 years, 30 million rand, Rapper for 5 years, all have proven track records. The VC fund is launched last year, so it's pretty new. So you'll see a track record come from that. And our objective is not to duplicate. Our objective is to work together and facilitate. It's not about the name or an organization. And whoever wants to run with the model, we're happy to assist different organizations to run with the same model, because the problem is too big for any one person or organization to solve. So one of our another associate with IDC said they ran the European Union gave them 2 million euros to run a similar project. It didn't even make a dent in the South African market. That's 2 million euros. So the problem is huge. And if you talk of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, 1.2 billion people. So there is no need to compartmentalize it or create any form of competition, but rather working together and facilitating this and opening the learning. So why relearn the learnings that have been made in India? Why burn again? You know, so our objective is to open the doors so that the learning, this cross-pollination, and everybody benefits.
You're very keen on introducing this concept into South Africa. How are you going to ensure that it gets into the right communities and it makes the impact you're hoping that it will have?
Yeah, and that's all about partnering with the right people with the right track record.
You don't want to reinvent the wheel.
We don't want to reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. And we want to use existing platforms that do exist, from gift-givers to whoever that is, Elimdad, whoever wants to partner with it in any way. And that's our job, is to facilitate this in whatever way we can.
When is it being introduced in South Africa?
Right now, we are in discussions with a whole host of parties. So for the next, I think, 3 months, we're hoping in 3 months it will be launched, because there's FSB regulations around lending and all of those things we need to be compliant with. And where organizations already have those licensing platforms, they're already going to be starting in the next. By Ramadan, hopefully some of those organizations will start.
Inshallah, Ameen. Now, you also have something that you're running called MyCo. Talk to us about that.
So MyCo was an initiative by some colleagues of mine, Zia and Noreen, who saw the Jewish community work so closely together to support one another.
Wow.
And they started a Muslim Youth Council of Entrepreneurs to provide a platform to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. A lot of our youngsters and people work in corporate but want to go back into the entrepreneurial field. So they started these free sessions once a month, where we have people who have succeeded in the entrepreneur space coming to give small 10-15 minute talks on what it is to succeed and inspire them. And so this has been going on for the last year or two, and a lot of businesses have started because of it, because people have met at this networking platform and have started businesses together. And so that's our other initiative going forward. And obviously with these funding processes, hopefully we can start merging, those visions start to merge.
Absolutely.
So we hope to start to merge some of these visions.
So do you have to become a member of MyCo? How do you attend? Where do you attend? How often do you attend?
That's a burning question. So MyCo is a rather informal process. We try to have one once a month, and we have an Instagram handle and a newsletter database, which the invites get sent out, and it's just by RSVP, really. That's all it is. The restaurants give us the space, you buy the meal, and we have speakers there. Sometimes a nominal entry fee of 20 rand sometimes, just to cover our costs of hiring equipment and stuff like that. So it's really quite an open platform as far as that is concerned. There's no real subscription model or anything around that. But hopefully going forward with the funding coming into the whole thing, we hope to take that to another level as well.
So we just have to either tweet you guys or go to your Facebook page,
Facebook, or Instagram, and go there, and you'll find us there. And it's quite popular around Johannesburg already. Yeah.
Okay, and do you have to RSVP?
Yes, you'll see on the invite, you'll see RSVP, and via our website, we have a website, myco.co.za, and you'll see our website, and you can RSVP, so that we can cater. So
Absolutely.
we have enough place.
In closing, what do you want to leave the viewers with?
I want to leave the viewers with the opportunity and the vision that we can make a massive social impact in South Africa, and that our destiny and the destiny of all of those around us are tied together, Muslim and non-Muslim. And if we don't see that, then unfortunately the future will be bleak. But I'm very confident there's so many people with such great hearts and such great vision that we can make this work, inshallah.
Shukran for being with us.
Jazakallah.
That was Riyad Laher together with his partner who is not here, Hussein Mohammed, doing amazing work. They've got this company running in India, an IT company, but the employees of the company have started up this organization, the Lifeline Foundation, and they want to replicate that model right here in South Africa, give all of us an opportunity, and together help grow South Africa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them for their efforts. And of course, we've heard about the amazing work that Hussein does, not only in our community, but all around. So Allah's best wishes with you guys, inshallah. We're going to talk food now, and the Sandwich King is in studio with me. His name is Itumeleng Lekomanyane, and his business is called Sandwich Ntontons. Hope I've got that right. He's here to talk about entrepreneurship and the fact that if you can't find a job, put on your thinking cap and make things happen for you. Morning, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You're a very enterprising young man. You were in corporate for a little while.
Yeah.
You were in sales, and then you decided that you needed to do something for yourself. But in the interim, you were also out of work for over 2 years.
2 years, yes.
What is your passion apart from sandwiches? If you were told that you can do and be anything you want to be, what would it be?
Okay. Oh, well, I also love fashion. I think fashion, if ever I could do anything, then I could also do a fashion designer. But what I've always wanted to do in my life, I wanted to be like a doctor. So a doctor is the one thing I always wanted to be, but like due to restraints in life, finances and all that, I could never pursue that dream. But like, you know, with God, like there's so many plans that He has for you that you'll never see maybe in the meantime, because I never thought I'd be here right now, being the Sandwich King, known all over South Africa.
You were out of work for 2 years.
Yes.
You needed to find employment. You needed to put money or bread on the table, excuse the pun.
Yes.
And so how did this idea then come to you? Because if you go to any and every street corner, people often say that the food business is the business to be in, because you can, if you've got the right food product, you can make a lot of money.
Yes.
But sandwiches don't sound all that interesting to me or all that exciting to eat. Why did you decide to go the sandwich route?
Okay, so basically I was unemployed, you know. I was faced with having to pay responsibilities every month. You know, I've got a little 3-year-old girl, so there was maintenance that needed to be paid, you know, every single month. So every single month was just a struggle for me to put together.
And a fight, I suppose.
Yes, and then, you know, with having the mother of my child, you know, sometimes you tell them you don't have money, and it sounds like you're lying. So this one month, when I was in August, I was like, okay, so I've got this last 800 Rand. So let me think about a business that I can actually start. And then I lied. And then I told them that I do not have money. So I just like, okay, let me just take a risk and start a business and see where it can take me. Because food is where the money is at. And then I was like, okay, I was raised in the streets of Joburg. Why not make money on them? So I decided, okay, let me think of an idea that will bring me like sustainability, something that will be long term. I was like, okay, let me maybe make scones and sell them on the streets and see how it goes. But I was like, nah.
A lot of that is happening.
Yes, a lot of that.
You kind of go to a street corner, you see a lot of people selling fat
cooks, scones, muffins. You know, I was like, no, man, I have to be unique. I have to be me, because like I'm Itumeleng, man. I think out of the box. And I was like, okay, there's no one who I've seen out there selling sandwiches. Then I decided, okay, let me just go stock up. Let me get the containers, do everything. So it just took me 2 days. I was like, okay, no, I'm going to do this in 2 days. And then up 2 days later, I was like, okay, I'm going out into the streets. I had my first batch of 10 sandwiches. I went out there, tried to sell them, only sold like 4. Came back with 6. I was discouraged for the first day. And then I was like, no, man, do not give up. at least you managed to sell 4. What if you can actually do better? Because maybe the first day you were very nervous, you didn't know what to do. Then the following day I decided, look, let me take it up a notch. Let me make 15 sandwiches. The second day I went out there into the streets, sold all 15 sandwiches, and then sandwiches, that's how Sandwich and Tontons was born. And with the help of social media as well, I used like for social media, like the Twitter platform and also the Facebook platform to actually promote my business and get it out there more. Yeah.
So you started out with a 6 and then 15 sandwiches. Where do we stand now? How many sandwiches do you produce per day?
Okay, so right now I'm producing anything between 180 to 300, and depending on the time of the month. Like this week it's very low, so it's like between 180 and maybe 190 depending. But from next week we hitting the 300 mark, since it's month end and everyone has gotten paid, because like right now people haven't, the money has been run out, so they're just waiting for the month to end.
What happens, often wonder and worry about the food industry, whether you're selling muffins, whether you're selling sandwiches, hot dogs, or even full meals.
Yeah.
What happens at the end of the day if your stock has not all been sold? What do you do with the leftover food or the leftover sandwiches? Because you can't sell those sales
every
stuff.
day.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we basically do is that we basically take the food back and then we give it to the kids in our flat. So we live in a huge 10-story building. So we usually give it to the kids so they can maybe use it as lunchbox for the following day, and then they just store it into the fridge, and then maybe they can take it to school. Or if not, if we're not giving it to the kids, sometimes we give it to the homeless on the streets, the boys in Joburg, the boys who smoke nyaupe, because like they also need food on a daily basis, and then they're not able to make ends meet.
It obviously eats into your profit, your bottom line.
Yes.
Unsold stock means there's a loss for the day.
There's a loss, yes.
How do you make up for it?
Well, if there's a loss, we just dust ourselves off, and then we just go again, we start over again, and then we just try again the following day and see how far it can get. Because like, as far as a loss is concerned, but that isn't the end of the business. The business still has to go on, whether you're making a loss or not. But the people are depending out there. The people are waiting for us every morning to give them sandwiches in the morning so they can just have their proper breakfast and enjoy their days.
You spoke about being raised on the streets of Johannesburg.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So basically I was born in the Northwest. So I practically lived in the Northwest in a village called Khakunwana. So I lived there from 0 to like when I was 11. So my mom took me here. So my mom had been here in Joburg trying to find work. She was a security guard, and then she brought me here to Joburg to come and live with her. So I lived here from 2003? Yeah, 2003. Then I started living here. I was raised in Yeoville, lived there most of my life. Then we moved around with my mom a lot, We moved between Hillbrow, Berea, Yeoville, Soweto, but most of the time we're here in Joburg, right around Yeoville, Hillbrow, and Berea.
So you're very streetwise. You have to be to run the type of business you're running.
Yes, you have to. Because like with Joburg is a very dangerous place, like the crime and what's happening. So it's not like anybody who can just maybe rock up to the streets of Joburg and maybe like try and do something like this. But eventually people can, but it's not easy. You just have to be street smart.
Your business is really about hard work, determination.
Yes.
And growing a relationship with your customers.
Yes.
Are you selling to the same people on a regular basis?
No. So every day there's like new customers. There's also those who are regular customers. So that's why we have to keep our numbers aligned each day, depending on which day of the week it is. So sometimes we have to make more on specific days, like on a Thursday and a Friday, because like that's when people are more comfortable with like spending their money and not having to worry about money for transportations, because we based in the taxi ranks, and we also have one in the office corporate in Standard Bank. Right now I'm in Auckland Park by the SABC Studios.
Okay, so how do you actually rent space there, or do you stand outside like a street vendor?
Yeah.
How does your operation work?
Oh, okay. So what I basically do, I've got this whole new model of franchising that I came up with. So what I do is I go out there myself, I go out into the market, look for a space where I can actually sell from. So I spent like 2 to 3 weeks. First, I started off at the MTN rank. I spent like 3 to 4 weeks there. After that,
selling sandwiches.
Sandwiches, yes. And then after that, I employ someone. You know, I get someone to run the station
Wow.
while I go out and look for another space.
So you're creating employment for someone as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about your sandwiches. How did you decide what is going to be a bestseller or a good seller and what's not going to appeal to people?
Okay, so basically I started off with just making beef, you know, the beef, so which they call it the dagoot. So that is the one that people loved from the onset. So I started making the dagoot, so just on a regular basis. And then people were like, no, man, just increase on product range, you know. So I started adding the bacon and cheese onto the menu, and then people loved it as well. And then I also added the chicken mayo, and recently just added the ham and cheese. You know, as time goes, we're gonna just keep increasing on flavors and variants. But
okay, so for now it's not halal.
No.
Are you
not.
planning on introducing halal sandwiches at some point in time?
Yes. I'm actually in talks with a supplier from Forsberg to actually get patties that are halal, and then also I'm going to also be doing samosas that are halal, you know, there's going to be...
So you're expanding your range.
I'm expanding the business,
Okay,
yeah.
let's go for an ad break. When we come back, we're going to talk bottom line figures, the different sandwiches, and all of the challenges that you've had being a vendor, trying to get your products out onto the street. The Sandwich King is here. He calls himself Sandwich and Tontons. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And we're going to talk more about entrepreneurship. You start small. He's not all that big yet, but he's putting all his might and his weight behind his sandwiches. And he knows that he's on to a sure thing.
Assalamu alaikum, I'm Mukhtar Van Mali, and as you can tell today, Let's Talk is on the streets of Joburg. We're actually outside the SABC Media Park, where we're hoping to catch up with Sandwich King Ep09 and find out the secrets to his success. Ep09, hi!
Hi Mukhtar, how are you?
Nice to catch you this morning. How's your morning been?
Everything has been good. I've been pushing sales, everything has been going well.
Now, I have to ask, like, everyone is going nuts over these sandwiches, but at the end of the day, it's sandwiches. Like, what is the magic? What is it about these sandwiches that makes them such a hot commodity?
I probably think it's the taste, the dedication I put into what I do on a daily basis, being here every day, selling my sandwiches, giving the customers a good product, a product that they can believe in, a product that is affordable, you know?
I love that. And I love that it's such a simple outlook, but it's making, you know, it's like a gold mine, which is a great outlook on life. Keep it simple and you'll do well. Yes. So, can you tell us about this spot? Why outside the SABC? Why not like somewhere else or somewhere like, you know, with more, I don't know, students, or what about this spot made it so important?
Okay, so what I basically do, I go around discovering spots to actually sell in, and then after I do that, I work there for like a period of 1 to 3 weeks there, and then I move on and create employment. So I've done the taxi ranks at the moment. I've got 2 taxi ranks where I have people based at, and then I've also got one in Standard Bank so I thought maybe I should try corporate, so I started that side. So I was like, okay, now let me find my next big market, and then somewhere where I'll get the exposure I need, you know. So I decided, no, I'm going to the SABC after. They've got a huge building full of people who are going to...
Lots of hungry people.
Lots of hungry people who are willing to support and buy my products.
And I'm sure at lunchtime, everyone is piling out of here, and here you are right there. They don't have to go very far. It's quick and it's easy.
It's quick and it's easy. So every day, all day, so I'm always available, you know, and then they know that they can get the sandwiches always fresh. It's freshly made, freshly prepared, and ready to eat.
That's awesome. And so in the future, like 5 years from now, do you picture like a Sandwich King cart like on every corner?
So that is the ultimate dream. So the ultimate dream is to actually have like a chain of food trucks going around, you know, in the whole of Joburg. Also having what I'm doing at the moment, having people at station spots. I will not even let go of that one. So I'll still have to like go to different places. So by right now I'm looking at invading like office parks, you know, because office parks do not have like food most of the time, you know. So I want to have like people on every office park in Johannesburg where people are actually serving sandwiches on a daily basis, and with the food trucks and a coffee shop maybe or 2 there and there, you know.
I mean, the sky's the limit. It seems like whatever you put your mind to, you're going to get right. And I think it's really clever because if you make it accessible and easy, people are going to come. And if the food's good, people love food. So food is always a good...
Yeah, so food is like a need, you know. So I had to identify a need in my market, you know, other than doing something else that wasn't going to maybe sell on a daily basis. I needed to think of something something that was gonna be there every day, you know, every day, so I could have like some income each day of my life instead of maybe just waiting for one income at specific periods of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're not out here selling like, you know, duck mignon or something. Like it's a sandwich that's every day and easy eatable, like, and that's what's making all of this buzz and doing so well. So that's amazing. So Itumeleng, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning. I know you're very busy.
Thank you for coming through, Mukhtar.
Awesome. I like how you say my name. It's very, very strong.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. We're going to catch up with some of Itumeleng's customers right now and find out why they love these sandwiches. And thereafter, we're going to go back to the studio with Aunt Julie. Hi, so we've managed to catch up with one of Itumeleng's customers. Hi, what's your name?
Isaac.
Isaac, nice to meet you. So tell me, Isaac, what is it about these sandwiches that you love so much?
I appreciate the effort in most of the things. Like,
and there's like muffins too.
Yeah, like he has presentation, he has variety as well. It's like, you know, like when you're driving in the traffic lights and like everybody's selling the same stuff.
Yes.
It's not like, you know.
Oh, so he brought something special. That's the key.
He's who you look for. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us. Hi. What's your name?
Bakang.
Bakang. Nice to meet you. So tell us, what do you love about these sandwiches?
They taste great and they're important for breakfast.
Oh, that's the most important meal of the day. Yeah. And what's your favorite sandwich to get here?
Dagwood, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Nice. Dagwood.
A Dagwood.
Yeah,
okay. How do you say it?
Dagwood.
Dagwood. All right. I'm street. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Hi. So what's your name?
My name is Tyler.
Hi, Tyler. Nice to meet you. So tell me, what is it about these sandwiches that you love so much?
I like that she always makes them and they're always fresh.
The freshness. And do you have a particular flavor that's your favorite?
Yeah, bacon and cheese.
Oh, the bacon. So that's what you come here specifically for?
Yeah.
This is the place to get it?
Yeah. I'll go at Spa, but like I'm always here. Yeah.
Oh, so that's what you want to say to everyone, that like this is the place to get your bacon and cheese?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're a Muslim channel, so I don't think they're going to come for bacon and cheese, but but they'll come for sandwiches. Thank you so much. Cool. Okay, so I'm here with
Kosi Silibi.
Nice to meet you. So, you're a fan of these sandwiches? You're a fan of the Sandwich King?
Yes, I am a fan of the Sandwich King because it actually helps us a lot, where in the morning you don't have to actually move around too much at home. You know that you will actually find him waiting there.
Yeah.
It's actually another way of helping the entrepreneurs to actually stand up on their own and get to the business world.
I love that. You're supporting young South African business owners.
Of course, of course. I think that's the initiative that we should all be taking, especially when we are now trying to free Africa and where we want Africa to actually be free, where we could actually support these young entrepreneurs on the businesses.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All about support.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Cool.
It's truly refreshing talking to someone like Itumeleng. People are crying their hearts out because they say there are not any job opportunities available. We know that the unemployment rate is sitting at some ridiculous figure of 30%. Itumeleng has decided that he needs to change his situation. He went out with a couple of sandwiches one day in August last year, and today he is talking about possibly 300 sandwiches per day, which he supplies around town, and in the interim has also created employment for a couple of people as well. How many people do you employ?
Okay, I have like 3, but one is a business partner by the name of Semidi Poko, who was my previous business partner from my previous business.
And what time do you have to wake up in the morning to get the sandwich run going?
Okay, so what we basically do, my day starts off at 4 a.m. every morning. Every morning, that's when you take your bath and then you prepare for everything. We're out of the house by 5 a.m.
Sandwiches done?
No, the sandwiches are prepared overnight. So like we prepare them from maybe 9 p.m. all the way, you know, until 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. Then we just maybe rest for a while. Then 4 a.m. we're up again taking baths. 5 a.m. we're out of the house again. Everyone is going to their stations, so I have to drop everyone off at their stations with my little car, you know. But it's very difficult at the moment because it's very little, and I can only drop like one person at a time because of the amount of products I have inside. So, and then after that, from there, we work from maybe 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. 10 a.m., that's when the cutoff time is.
And that's when you go to bed?
No, after that, the other hard work starts again, the stocking up. So after that, you have to, because you have to use fresh produce every day, you have to go to the market, you have to go get bread again, or everything that is required. So we do that from maybe, let's say 10:30 till 1. So from 1 p.m., I'm sleeping all the way until 8 p.m. at night.
So it's a lot of hard work and dedication, obviously. Are you seeing the results you were hoping to see from August up to now?
The expectations I had for the business have overcome what I had actually thought, because like I never thought I'd be here right now, just 6 months into the business, and I'm producing such numbers, because I thought at first I'll just be stationed at one spot where I would actually just be selling there on a daily basis every day. But right now I find myself moving around, finding new locations, finding new customers, building a positive customer base, you know, and then like having to actually interact and take the company forward.
You started off with 800 rands. What is the business worth as we speak?
At the moment, the business is worth anything between 18,000 to 30,000, depending on maybe how much how the busy the month is.
Okay, obviously the weather plays havoc with your type of business, because you don't have a stall. Just explain to us, paint a picture to us about when, how the product gets sold.
Okay, so basically what we do is that we have little containers that we sell from. So we basically stationed at street corners, you know. We basically have a container full of the sandwiches and then whatever other products we have on the side. So everyone is just standing there with that little money bag, you know.
And do you have any logos?
Yes, so we have a logo, so which is usually stuck onto the actual container. But we're actually looking more into branding the company, branding the guys to actually get the company more out there and more recognized. Yeah.
Standing on street corners, obviously, I've been told, does break certain bylaws as far as health regulation issues are concerned.
Yes.
Have you had any of those type of situations, and how have you managed them?
Yes, so basically, so I think it was 2 weeks back. So one of the guys I had employed, so it was just his first week. So the third day of just him working, he was approached by the JMPD. They told him that he wasn't allowed to sell there, you know, at a spot that I was actually selling on for the past 3 months or so. So now the guy they took all the stock that he had. So they came early in the morning, you know, he hadn't sold much that time. So they had taken everything, all the stock. So then we're given a fine of like 1.6 because we haven't applied, we're not abiding by the bylaws of the country at the moment. So we're also struggling with getting the trading licenses, you know, because if we had the trading licenses, it'll be much easier. So when the police or JMPD come up to you, just produce the paper and then everything was going to be sorted. So right now with the city and what's been happening, you know, with the whole politics behind it, so we're not able to get the trading licenses only until March.
So what are you going to do in the meantime? Because what this suggests to me is that you're trading illegally.
Yeah, but honestly, I really have to make a living, you know, and I've seen that the company, I've seen where it's going, but I cannot just wait for our government to actually get their house in order for me to actually operate. So I will just operate in the meantime until I get everything in order, because I cannot just stop my business, because right now I've got customers, I've got people who depend on me every day to give them an affordable soy sandwich. So if I have to stop right now, then they don't have an affordable sandwich, so they'll have to buy expensive food wherever they work from.
How much is an affordable sandwich?
Okay, so my sandwiches are all $20. So 20 rands for a sandwich.
For 2 slices of bread with a filling?
With filling. So you've got your veggies inside, you've got your cheese, your patties, your sauce. So that's basically it.
And all pre-packed?
All pre-packed, yeah.
Obviously, you are now termed as an informal trader, a street trader.
Yes.
And you're waiting to get your license, because if not, you're in contravention of bylaws.
Bylaws, yes.
What are what are you doing to mitigate your stock being confiscated again? Is it to be on the lookout for when JNPD comes and you run away with your stock?
So,
what is it that you're doing?
Yeah, so that is what basically happens with one of my guys, because the guy at Brief, so that's where like he gets bothered the most, because the other guy at MTN, he's right inside the rank, so there's no problem. And with me at SABC, there's no problem. And the guy at Standard Bank, so it's so and so. But the guy at Brief has to run away like all the time, like on a weekly basis. I'm sure the Metro Police come there three or four times just to come and take the stock, people's stock, but he manages to run away from them all the time, which I do not appreciate, because like it puts his life in danger, because like now he has to run away from these guys trying to protect the stock that I'm employing him to sell.
There is the flip side to this whole issue around street vendors.
Yes.
And I commend you for the steps that you have taken, not only to put food on your own table, but to create employment for 4 or 5 other people.
Yes.
But the one issue and a big complaint that has come out of street vendors or people who sell on street corners is the fact that there's a lot of rubbish that is left behind. So after a day's trade, whether you're selling fruit, sandwiches, ice creams, whatever it is, there's a lot of litter that has been left behind. And one just needs to take a short ride through the CBD to see what we're talking about. How much of responsibility do you take for that? How responsible are your vendors? And what would you say to other street vendors about all of the litter in the area?
Okay. So what I would say to other street vendors is, guys, can we just maybe keep our city cleaner? Then maybe we wouldn't have as much problems as we having to sell on the streets, because we the ones who are making the streets dirty. Having to walk through the CBD, I think Joburg it's like the dirtiest place in the whole of South Africa at the moment. But in regards to what we're doing, we're also asking our customers. So our customers, sometimes we're asking them just to reduce like wastage and what is happening, because like being eco-friendly, we're trying to be eco-friendly, and we're going to also be eco-friendly as time goes. We're going to get something that is not going to be very harmful to the environment, because right now we're using like plastics. So what we usually do is that we ask the customers if they can they please bring back the containers to us, instead of just maybe disposing of them or anything. Then maybe we recycle them from our end to actually reduce like litter and rubbish on the streets.
Are you talking styrofoam containers? And are the customers in fact bringing it back?
Yes, some are bringing it back. The ones who, but it's so much work, having to carry something, a container back home, then having to come with it again the following day just to give it to the guy. But some of them are doing it because like some of them do understand that we have to be eco-friendly, and plastic waste is a lot in our country. So we're just trying to reduce it where we can.
Where to from here for the Sandwich King?
Okay, from the Sandwich King. From now, I'm looking at expanding the business. The business has to be like the next big thing in South Africa. It has to be like a household name. So we're thinking right now, we're looking into venturing into like food trucks, getting food trucks that are actually going to travel around the country, going to events, stadiums, anything where there's an event, and then we go there and sell our foods. So, and then we're also thinking of maybe getting a coffee shop, where people can just come there, relax, have their meals, have their sandwiches, maybe have a muffin should the occasion persist.
So big plans.
Big plans.
How, apart from the challenges that you're having from JMPD, what other challenges do you have, and how are you meeting them head on?
Okay, other challenges will be one will have to be maybe the stocking up of everything, having to run the whole company by myself, but the guys that do help me. And also having to not have maybe a bigger car at the moment to actually drop off everyone at one go, because like right now we're looking at getting in a bakkie for the company that will actually transport everyone, because like right now we're looking at employing 2 more people to actually go run stations.
And your preparing facilities, your prep kitchen, obviously that needs to be upgraded as well in keeping with health and safety
Yes,
regulations.
Yeah, so we do keep everything. Everything we do has been of top standard. So we keep everything healthy. We use gloves when we touching everything, and then we have to have hair nets. You know, everything healthy.
So you're complying with all
We're
of that?
complying with it. We're complying with all the health regulations of the country. We do not want to sell products that people aren't comfortable in eating, you know, and also people actually buy us also, you know, like the way we present ourselves and the sandwiches, you know, our products are like top range, also very affordable.
We'll be looking out for the halal sandwiches in the not too distant future. Thank you for being with us and much success going forward.
Thank you very much for having me, man.
My pleasure
Thank
entirely.
you.
That was the Sandwich King, bringing us to the end of the show for today. Thank you for your company. As always, take care on the roads. Till the next time, Khudafiz from me, Julie Alli.